attire.
Hold on.
Ow, 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 ow. I'm on a rolling stool, so I can't roll. But oh yeah, I'm in a Dallas Cowboy attire this morning because it's the NFL. The opening season is opening day is Thursday or Thursday or Sunday, one of them. And yes, I'm rocking my Dallas Cowboy attire. We're going to talk about the NFL boycotting Kaepernick. Of course, my dude, number 21, Ezekiel Elliott. We're going to talk about the nonsense that the NFL is doing to him. And if nothing else, this also would be another reason to boycott the NFL if that is where you are coming this Sunday.
Wow. Is that the same? Is is Ezekiel's situation? I don't know much about it because, as I mentioned to you prior to the show, I was a Cowboy fan since 1978. Since I was 8 years old, I was a Cowboy fan, and about 6 years ago, it broke my heart. It took a lot out of me. It's like shooting your dog.
Yeah.
But I left the Cowboys. It wasn't for football. It wasn't because of we won or we lost. None of that. It was simply because I could no longer take the state of Texas and it's an institution being so racist in its practices. More people die by death penalty, black males, in Texas than any other state in the country. And we already know the number of incidences where death penalties have been wronged, where they found out later that the people did not commit the crime, and you still killing them. And so that was just one thing. You had the James Byrd story where his brother got drugged on the back of the truck, and for a mile, and the people didn't go to jail.
His body part. Yeah, that was crazy.
And you had another story where about 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, when I cut the team, where another black guy went to Oklahoma on Sunday because apparently they don't sell liquor in Texas on Sunday.
Okay.
So they went to Oklahoma to get some beer.
Is Texas a Commonwealth state?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But anyway, so they went over, they got drunk, and he refused to go back with the two white guys because they were drunk. As a result of that, they hit him, drug him also about a mile. They went to jail for a year, stayed in jail for a year only because they couldn't post bail. At the end of the year, they said, we got to let them go because we don't have enough evidence to convict.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All of these things. So after I spent all my money, all my time, not all my money, but my money, my energy. I went to the Redskins Stadium or Washington. I don't call them Redskins.
I call them the Skids.
The Washington, the Washington football team stadium when Dallas beat them, Troy, we were down the entire team. I'm in the top cheap seats, shouting and screaming, you gotta believe, Cowboys! The people like, look at the score, look at the score. I'm like, you gotta believe, Cowboys! And do you know Troy Aikman hit Rocket Ismail in the middle for a bomb, and we won the game at the last second. You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of energy and support I was going out for the Cowboys.
Right.
But when it comes down to people, and it comes to my people being alive and free and treated fairly, I cannot support institutions and businesses that do not support my community. And I understand Jerry Jones made the statement that if any of his players even don't think about kneeling during the national anthem, you wouldn't be on the team. I can't support that.
You know what? I thought, and ladies and gentlemen, before we go any further, that was a piece in the AM, Darius A. Stanton.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
If you guys don't know, now you know. This is before me.
That's right.
This is before me.
Right here with the star. No doubt.
That's Darius. And you know what? The unfortunate thing, and you know what? Let's just go ahead and move on to this because I don't know how much time you have, so let's go ahead and move into this.
Me.
But what I want to say is you're talking about the reason why you decided that you wouldn't support a team coming from the state of Texas, and I totally understand that. I totally understand that, and I'm with you on that. And I was watching Jerry Jones, how Jerry Jones is responding to this Colin Kaepernick situation, and I understand. I believe what Jerry is talking about. He just doesn't want that distraction on top of the other distractions that the Dallas Cowboy has. Now, mind you, that's a big old distraction. But I I think
And the
what's
distraction,
happening here.
the distraction he's talking about is he doesn't want to have the distraction of somebody not kneeling for the flag. Is that what he's saying is a distraction that he doesn't want to have?
I think the distraction is once they kneel for the flag, then they want to pick you apart on what you're doing and why
Okay,
you're
so he
kneeling.
doesn't want to have that distraction to the team on top of.
Because we already have polarizing figures on the team anyway. Dez Bryant, Tony Romo, now Dak Prescott, and now Ezekiel Elliott. We also had another woman beater on our defense as well. Hardy, I believe his name was. So the team already has a lot of distractions without that alone. Not saying that's why Jerry Jones should have said it or not. I think he was wrong. I think he should allow the workers on his team, his employees, to express what they want to express as long as it's not disrupting the team. However, I think where Jerry Jones may come to change his mind at would be the fact that Ezekiel Elliott, number 21 running back, rookie of the year last year, and also leading rusher. Man, them Cowboys. But Ezekiel is also being threatened with suspension for the first 6 games of the season due to him beating up his girlfriend, or supposedly beating up his girlfriend while at Ohio State. Although the police department, the law enforcement in Ohio says there's no proof of this being true. Also, the girl has been found on video asking another girl to help participate in bruising her up so she can file charges against him or have him lose his job. She made the statement on air, not on air, but on somebody's recording, that she will win because she's a white girl and he's a dumb black jock. So all of this stuff allowed the Ohio Police Department to drop the charges. But the NFL decides that what the police department decided in this case does not hold up. And so what they found warrants a 6-game suspension. Ezekiel Elliott is now suing the NFL because all charges led to a dismissal in legal terms. But you mean to tell me you can't take the same thing and use it towards me saving my job? When if it turned out differently in the legal terms, they damn sure will have suspended him, even cost him his career.
Well, so let's put it into let's put it into perspective with regard to Colin Kaepernick and what's going on with Ezekiel. So first and foremost, the NFL, along with a slew of other industries, we just had this conversation on our show early this morning, have turned the other cheek, allowed, supported women being abused and beaten, raped. You got a quarterback at Pittsburgh who starts and has continued to start, who has paid 3 different women out of cases for sexual assault charges.
And right, one was even a rape. One was even a rape. I think what happens in the media or in society in general, sometimes we forget that we're adults. And let's speak as adults would speak. There was not a sexual assault. He raped her. And maybe because he was not found guilty is the reason why people aren't using the rape word.
Well, I didn't use it only because if I don't know all of the details to all of the cases, I only give what I know.
If you pull me into the bathroom, or if you pull me anywhere and you start to take my clothes off or grope or fondle me, that is rape without you even penetrating me. That's raping me, stopping me against my will and holding. That's right, and sexually assaulting me. Right. So I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why they chose not to. Well, yes, I am. I'm sure why they chose not to do this with Kat.
In his case, Ezekiel, he happened to be like the woman said. They now standing up to it, right? And finally, the NFL is saying we're taking a hard stand. So I gotta at least give the NFL credit for finally taking a hard stand to protect women. To say that we're not going to allow that to happen. But guess what? what I got to have people understand is, it's when women now who are at about a 45% of the viewing audience of the NFL now. You know, you see yourself, you got your whole gear on, right? The women are doing that all over the place. And so they
I started that. This is another show, but I did start that. I am the trendsetter when it comes to athletics and athletic sportswear and
women's gear.
Yes, I am. That would be me.
You are the original.
You
heard it first, right here.
Yes,
you heard it. Keep it moving with Kim.
Yeah.
Right here.
I'll tell you about the time Kim Porter, Puffy's girlfriend, stole one of my ideas. Yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay, well, see, there you go. So I just want to, emphasize how important it is for us to take a stand when we see injustice, especially for women. Especially for women. It's so important for us to understand that, because often women don't have that voice. And so men have to take a stand when they're in the room, in the boardroom, in the classroom, in the hotel room, wherever it is, on behalf of women. And so for them to, slight him, it's a judgment call with regard to that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but what I'm fighting for is for people to be able to feel comfortable when they're pulled over by the police, that they're not afraid they're going to lose their lives.
Yeah.
When they're not carrying a gun, when they're not doing it, you're not committing a crime. And guess what? Even if you are committing a crime, if the crime doesn't require you taking somebody else's life, then nobody should be taking yours either. And if you want to go on an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, so to me, at some point in America, we have to take a stand.
Absolutely.
So that's where I am, and I'm standing. I watched Howard. Didn't watch it, but love Howard beating
UNLV.
UNLV. And Maryland.
That was like the first time ever.
Right, and Maryland beating Texas.
Yeah.
So hats off to those guys. But
and
as far as
also
the
hats
NFL,
off to Maryland for deciding to change the state song as well. They would no longer state the state song.
That's
state
right.
Song.
So things that people say could not be done are being
done now. Yes.
Because people are pulling their dollars.
Yes. And to me, that's what this is all about, which is why I chose that my boycott will not be taking away something that I love, which is peace on Sundays, watching the NFL and taking care of my home for the rest of the week. But since I am down for the cause and I do want the to stop the oppression and the killing of the black man and now black woman in this country, I will support Kaepernick with my dollars to his foundations, which is giving money to all of the foundations that are supporting disadvantaged black communities, and also the killings and misconduct of police on behalf of black men and women. So that's how I'm going to support the Kaepernick boycott. Yeah.
Right on. Well,
yeah.
I respect your means of support. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm voting with my eyes, and I'm voting with my pocketbook. And if I don't put my eyes on the screen in my house, we had a conversation. We all sat down as a family, said, are we going to support this or not?
Nice.
And everybody said, it's no sweat off my brow. And we got two or three Cowboy fans in the house, but no more. Will we allow and support something that is not supporting our communities?
Nice.
And if you can't hear people take a stand. When you watch an officer tell a white woman said she was scared because she saw people get shot.
Yeah, and he
on
said
television. He said, we only shoot black people.
Yeah, you're not black, are you?
And she said, this is the part, the most troubling part. You don't ever see white people get shot on video, do you?
To me, the most troubling part of that is that happened a year or two ago.
It happened last year.
Yeah, and that is just coming out now. So.
And he's just getting fired. So
he's just getting fired.
After all of that time, he was on the police force, arresting people.
So now what they need to do is look at his book of what he's done, while he's since that time and before, and check those cases out.
As always, it's such a pleasure being here with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
All of the fans of this dynamic out-of-sight lady, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting her. Keep it moving. I got to move. Peace.
Ladies
in
and
the
gentlemen,
morning.
Darius A. Stanton.
Right.
Okay, peace in the morning right here on
9
elifemedia.net.
Come check us
9
out.
a.m.
Check us
Check
out.
him out.
You know we got to be
need
tight if we leading her in. You know what we gotta do.
I want to say good morning to everybody on Facebook Live. I see you, Giants and Skid fans and Patriots fans. I see y'all. Steelers fans. I see you guys. But today it's all about the Cowboys. Check out how I rock this, y'all. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Do do do. Do 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 da boo boo do boo 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 blah 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 da da wow da 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 wow. It's the Keep It Moving show. I got my man Shy Blizzy in the house. I also have Rolling Big Bub in the house. Check him out, y'all.
What's going on,
Yeah.
I like all of y'all.
Yeah, he like all of y'all today. But it's the Keep It Moving show. You know, I don't know what the soundtrack is because I'm letting Shy Blizzy roll with that. So it's the Keep It Moving show, and we'll be right back.
Oh yeah, it's another Gangstar short shot. Featuring the one and only Hanley Roy, nice and smooth. Hey, 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 hey. A Gangstar has got to be the short shot. Nice and smooth has got to be the short shot. A Gangstar has got to be the short shot. Nice and smooth has got to be the short shot. A Greg Nice, a Greg NLCE, Dominum Basso, we rock for a fee, not for free. Maybe I'll do it for charity. Now my employer or my employee is making Greg NLCE very MAD. They'll never ever think of jerking me. I work too hard for my royalty. Put lead in your ass and drink a cup of tea. Easter Red Alert and Kid Capri. Ooh la la, we. I say Muhammad Ali, you say glass just clay. I say butter, you say parquet. It's alright if you wanna make a sway. On my way uptown, took the deuce to the trade. I originate, they duplicate. I praise the Lord and keep the faith. It's alright, keep biting at the bait. 92, 1 year later. Peace out, premiere, take me out with the fader. I chant eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I wreck the mic like a pimp shows. Here's how it goes, I am a genius, I mean this. I shape this, you'll tape this, I'm kinda fiendish. You wish that you could come into my neighborhood. Meaning my mental state, still I'm 5'8". Crazy as I wanna be, cause I make it orderly. You could say I'm sort of the boss, so get lost. The brother who will make you change opinions. Dominions, I'm in them when it's time to kick shit from the heart. Cause I get a piece of the action. Feeling satisfaction from the street crowd reaction. Shelves full guns when they feel afraid. Too late, when they dip in the kick, they get sprayed. Lemonade was a popular drink and it still is. I get more props and stunts than Bruce Willis. A poet like Langston Hughes and can't lose when I cruise. Out on the expressway, leaving the bodega, I say suave. Premier's got more beats than Bonds got hate. Clips are inserted into my gun, so I can take the money, never have to run.
I left my Philly at home. Do you have another? I wanna get blunted, my brother. Now may I make a mark, then make a spark over this fat track? Or should I say dope beat? Subtract, delete all of the wick-wack that wanna be abstract, but they lack the new knack that's coming from way, way back. Ayo, Premier, please pass that Buddha sack. You heard we quit? No way, bullshit. I told you before, we come back with more hits. I provide bright flavor, so you can sketch me. Do me a favor, don't try to catch me. Slightly ahead of the game, I'm not a lame. Ask him, he'll tell you the same. He knows my name, smooth. I drop jewels like paraphernalia. I'm infallible, not into failure. Like a rhinoceros, my speed is prosperous, and pure knowledge expands from my esophagus. I write in the night to bring truth to the light. My dialogue is my own, cause smooth beat will never bite. After the tour quits, I come back with more hits. After the tour quits, I come back with more hits. After the tour quits, I come back.
are on the planet, it is the top of the hour. Matter of fact, wherever you are on the planet, it's the top of the hour. But it's noon right here on the East Coast of these United States of America. So I want to say what up to everybody out there in the country. Shout out to San Diego. You guys are living La Vida Loca out there. I see you, right? Shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to Connecticut is in the house. Of course, New York is in the house. Oh my God. Atlanta is in the house. Richmond is in the house. Maryland, D.C. is in the house. Some more Virginia Beach is in the house. Good grief. Chicago, I see you guys out there. Ghana is in the house. Girl, thank you so much. Ghana is in the house. Monterrey, Mexico. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Oh my gosh, you guys are making me feel really, really good today. I want to also shout out to Darius A. Stanton from Peace in the Morning. It comes on right here at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, wherever you are on the planet. Get yourself some positivity. That would be him, and he's funny too. So I appreciate him this morning for the conversation, talking about the NFL, whether you're boycotting, the type of boycotting you're doing, all of that stuff. But right now in the studio, I have Sha Blizzy and Big Bub in the house with us. And Sha's holding it. Bub has the pageant wave. I think you need to see this. Oh, man. Yes. And Sha Blizzy, he ain't got a pageant wave. But so we were coming back, and you know I'm dressed in my Dallas Cowboy gear. I always do that. And if you have watched the Keep It Moving show too before, you know that every Monday I'm in here with another different Dallas Cowboy piece of apparel, you know, because we were winning like crazy. But, you know, it is what it is, whether you boycott the NFL by not watching the games, or you boycott it by supporting Kaepernick like I am. The good thing is that we all agree that we all have our own methods of boycott. We all have our own ways of doing things. There's not one particular way to do it. But, you know, as long as you get it done, because the bottom line is this is for a great cause. This is to stand up against police brutality, against the Black Americans in this country. And I'll stand up and I'll stand out and I'll show up and show out just like I do on my show every Monday. So whether I watch the NFL or not, I'm telling you guys every Monday that I'm standing up for my people. If you don't like it, you just don't like it. So peace to my girl, Shy Richie, right? I did say that right? She Richie. I don't know, why did I want to say Shy? But She Richie, shout out to her. She has a show here every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. You guys got to check her out. But this is the candle that she allows me to put on my table during the show until I get my own, and I'm looking forward to that now. So shout out to She Richie, and can't wait to get mine. Well, maybe I ought to order it first, right? Man. Anyway, it's the Keep It Moving show. We're keeping it moving. I also want to send some positive love and some great baby love to our girl, Serena Williams, who had a little girl over the weekend. Her and her billionaire boyfriend, Alexis somebody. He's the co-owner of Reddit.com. So shout out to them. Congratulations to Serena. Also congratulations to Venus. She won her, I think it was a semifinal match or something like that in the U.S. Open this weekend. She looked really good. Won 2 sets out of 3. Looked really good. So shout out to Venus as well. Before we talk about Houston, what I want to do is I want to shout out to everybody on the on the continent of Asia. It was almost, why is the broadcast? I want to shout out to everybody on the continent of Asia. They had a flood over there that was, that dwarfed the flood that's going on over here in the state of Texas. So far, I believe it's Let me see. I believe it's over 1,500, over 1,200 people that was killed in Bangladesh, Nepal, and a couple other places over there. Over 1,200 people killed, over 7.1 million people displaced in Bangladesh, over 1.4 million people displaced in Nepal. They've lost over 1 million tons of rice. Oh boy, what are you guys going to do now? Sorry, too early for that. Okay, what are they going to do? Because that's their source of income. So, everybody in Houston, we know that we're praying for everybody to get, everybody to be well and taken care of in the state of Texas, but on the continent of Asia, in the Indian countries over there, Nepal and Bangladesh, and a couple other places, they need help. They need help, and I'm wondering what the United Nations and the rest of the world is going to do for that continent. So shout out to everybody over there in India, and to one of my favorite guys, Setu Raman Prakash. He is a friend of mine from New Delhi, and Setu Raman Prakash. That's his name. Yes, and he's one of my he's one of my best friends. He's been one of my good friends for over 30 years. So a shout out to him, and I hope his family over there is okay. Speaking on floods, I want to say and give a shout out to everybody in Texas, in the southeast part of Texas, Houston, Corpus Christi, Galveston, and a couple other, Beaumont, a couple other places there that's dealing not only with the flood trying to recede, the water's trying to recede, but also the chemical plants that are now being exposed in the air, and people in Texas, wow, they have a long ways to go. But what I want to say, and maybe you guys can jump in on this with me, because I really want some input on this. Now, I thought Floyd Joy Mayweather, y'all do know Floyd's middle name is Joy, right?
No, I didn't even know.
Yeah, Floyd's middle name is Joy, like joy to the world. So Floyd Joy Mayweather was supposedly in a position to give up $200 million for the people in Houston, and he has not done so yet. So I'm gonna keep it moving from Floyd and just say, although Floyd has not given up his money, and I really have faith that Floyd will give up some money, but although Floyd hasn't given any money, the owner of the Houston Rockets, Mr. Alexander, has given up $10 million of his own money. J.J. Watt from the Houston Texans and his football friends have come up with a little more than $17 million. Kevin Hart and his comedian and actor friends have come up with many millions. Of course, there is Beyonce that's probably going to come up with so many millions. You know, she always bigging up her hometown.
Right,
and let's say the Ghetto Boys, Scarface and Willie D, and I wonder if Willie D and Bushwick has money. Wonder if Bushwick.
I don't think so.
You don't think?
No.
Scarface, I would say Scarface.
He got to have a little cash.
But I would also say Pimp C. No, which one of those died? Pimp C died?
Yeah, Pimp. No, he got locked up. He's in jail, I think.
Well, he ain't giving no money either.
No.
Okay, so
That's,
but Little J,
yeah.
Prince J, not Little J. He is little though, but not Little J. Prince J.
Well, there's a whole lot of artists down there from.
Well, this Prince J guy is supposed to be like so big that he was the one who stopped then acting Attorney General Janet Reno from locking up a couple other people in hip hop. This was back in the 80s, so Prince J is a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, and apparently whatever Prince J says goes. So I'm thinking that between all of them, the maybe a little more than 150,000 people that were displaced in that area should not be displaced once all of this is being taken
all
care
that money
of.
comes in.
I mean, we're talking $100 million here.
Right.
And
at
that's
least.
outside of what a lot of other people have done or going to do.
Now they did say it was going to cost hundreds of millions to just
Hey,
recover.
well, that's on the government.
Yeah,
That should
they
be
got
on
to
the
throw
government,
in. They got to
right.
throw in too.
Right. If the government is doing what they're supposed to, along with the, then they will take care of the land, the buildings.
So what was this thing about? Was it Joel Osteen or somebody wasn't trying to open their church
Right.
up?
Apparently. So what happens is, come on, man. People calling me when I'm on air. I mean, I appreciate it, y'all, but I'm on air, and you know I'm using my phone for Facebook Live. So cut it. But so hopefully, what I'm thinking is that everybody should be covered with the amount of money that people have raised for them. Everybody should be covered. Also, Joel Osteen, it was reported that during the flood, his church was closed.
Yeah.
And see, I have different opinions on this. I
I was upset at first too, but then I heard
Then you
that.
thought about it.
Yeah, I thought about it, and they were like, "Well, he has certain liabilities."
Right.
But my thing is, the basic premise of the church, despite the liabilities, is to help the poor and the needy, and this is one of the biggest cases of the poor and the needy. It could have been something he probably could have did sooner, but I understand the hesitation. I do.
I understand as well and especially during the hurricane. During the hurricane, nobody knew what what the water was going to do.
Yeah.
So I understand him not opening up the church doors for the church to become destroyed before,
Right.
we see if it even, reaches the church. But the church is also on a hill, from my understanding, and the water didn't get as far as it did in other neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So he was then able to open it once.
He could assess the situation a little better.
Right.
Yeah.
And we know he wasn't actually in the church during the floods. He was at his own house.
Right. Well, yeah.
So
you know
during
that.
the floods, they're asking everybody to stay put.
Do you think they have any responsibility to the community in that fashion?
I think when there is a catastrophic disaster heading your way, everybody is supposed to stay put like they asked you to.
Okay.
Now, if he was able, or maybe someone like law enforcement or the fire department was able to get out and open the church, then that would be one thing. But you're asking him to break the law by coming outside
and do what
and
the law
opening.
enforcement couldn't
Right.
even really do.
Right.
They didn't even have
Right.
a handle on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're inviting people from other states to come in with boats and things, trying to.
And right, there's other ways
rescue.
you can help out too.
Yes.
If he didn't have the facilities open for good reason, then he could also donate or
Yes.
spend manpower, helping out people. So,
I think as well, what ended up happening, where he ended up sticking his foot in his mouth again, was during Sunday's service yesterday. Apparently, he passed the plates around.
Now, see,
everybody that's in the
they got
church.
ATMs in churches now. So,
But if everything has been wiped out because you just lived through a flood,
you need to be given instead of
and
taking.
everybody sitting in the church,
Yeah.
they don't have anything. Everybody in that church was from Houston, the Houston area, which had just been wiped out. So where are we going to get money?
Well, this church ain't gonna pay for itself. We need a building fund. Okay.
Joel Osteen has so much money that I'm pretty sure he
ridiculous.
doesn't have to even ask for
They
collections
need another
anymore for a
private
while.
jet. That's
Yeah.
you know.
It's the Keep It Moving show too. Me, Bub, and Shaw's up in here kicking the bobo. Some people say that still, like kicking a bobo.
Oh, I'm still from the '90s, so I do that too. Yeah.
I'm doing you.
The Willie
You
Bobo.
know I'm so old school. That's why we
Yeah.
play this music that we play.
There you go.
But it's the Keep It Moving show. We are going to go to some music. When we come back, me, Bub, and Shy is still up in here. We're going to talk about some black stuff.
That's right.
Being black on the block. Buying black the block.
is Diamond D. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I dip and I dab like a Mike Tyson jab. Even though this flab, I possess the gift of gab. I shoot it like a jammy, and girls get the panties in, even with a fanny, and I might win a Grammy. And maybe I won't, so I chill like the Pope. See, I'll never mope, cause I know my shit is dope like Colombian fish scale. Ask my man Ishmael.
Diamond D got props like a cop.
Or better yet, DT, cause brothers can't see me. Even the girl said you got a small wee-wee. Now you wanna go upside her head. Do you feel intimidated by the things she said? Don't be mad cause I paid her back.
You know
took her to the res and I laid her back.
I go
on and on like popcorn with the butter. Hey, yo, I used to stutter, but I fall on track. And some may say I'm whack and fact, but in fact, I'm not any of that black. See, I'm the best kept secret.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up and peep it. Come on.
D, Wayne and Forrest. Rapper tries to diss, I crush the motherfucker. D, Wayne and Forrest. Rapper tries to diss, I
Come
crush
on,
the
come
motherfucker.
on.
D, Wayne and Forrest. Rapper tries to
Yeah,
diss, I
I'm the
crush
best
the
kept
motherfucker.
secret. I'm the best kept secret. So shut the fuck up and peep it. See, I write my own rhymes, produce my own shit. Yeah, boy, I ain't the one to fuck with. Nope. I'll take a beat and I'll flip it. With so much flavor, niggas wanna sip it. But that's cool cause they know I got skills. Let me demonstrate if you will. Rock is my man and so is Dapper Dan. And I'll shake your hand and don't try to flam. But front like a stun who lost a cunt. I only hit grand slams, never will I bunt. Bases are loaded, bottom of the ninth. I step to the plate cause I know my shit is great. I can't walk down the street. Hey yo, Diamond, can you make me a beat? You gotta have cheese, about a couple of G's. But if I know ya, I might just throw ya a little something on the side, true. A funky bass line and a hype loop. I got 1,000 old records in my crib. I used to hustle, but I never did a bid. Some people call me JoJo. I keep a low pro, non-stop props, so act like you know, bro. Pass me a mic and I'ma keep it. Yeah, boy, I'm the best kept secret.
D, Wayne and Forrest. Rapper tries to diss, I crush the motherfucker. D,
Yeah, come on, I'm the best kept secret. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Hey, yo, Joe, check this out. Come on. Yo, I'm deadlier than Michael Myers. My style will embrace you like a pair of pliers. But don't sweat it, G. Why don't you let it be? Cause Diamond D is a pedigree. In other words, I'm official. I never go out like a wet piece of tissue. Rough and rugged, stronger than Bounty. New York is the city, Bronx is the county. Learn from the best, so the rest just fest. Now I'm getting booked at the Fillmore West, located in the village, so kill it, skillet. You ask yourself, will it ever cease? Yeah, cause diamond sharp as a crease. I only use beeswax, I never use grease on my dreads. But instead, if you want some kicks, step to the mic, I'm an 8-to-1 pick. Yeah, you reap what you sow and I can reap it. Yo, I'm the best kept secret. Come on, come on.
Rapper tries to diss, I crush the motherfucker.
Come on, come on. Yeah, I'm the best kept secret. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on.
Rapper tries to diss, I crush the motherfucker.
Hey young world, the world is yours. Hey young world, the world is yours. Young world, the world is yours. Young world, this rap here. It may cause concern, it's boring. Why don't you listen and learn? Love things happiness that once was strong, but you think society, even that's turned wrong. Times have changed. Hey, it's cool to look bummy and be a dumb dummy and disrespect your mommy. Have you forgotten who put you on this earth, huh? Who brought you out proud? And who loved you since your birth? Reward is a brainwashed kid going wild. Young little girls already have a child. Bad company. Hey, now you've been framed. Your parents are hurted and ashamed for ruining yourself. And your mommy can't cope. Hey, little kids don't follow these dopes. As a rule from a non-fool. Your life don't drool. Don't be a fool like those that don't go to school. Get ahead and accomplish things. You'll see the wonder and the joy life brings. Don't admire these. Hey, they don't admire you. Their time's limited, hard rocks too. So listen, be strong, scream, whoopee-doo. Go for yours, cause dreams come true.
And you'll make your mommy
So proud of you too.
And this is a mission
That the ruler Rick threw, and it's true.
You know what? We like to party, to party. You know what?
Hey, young world.
We like to party, to party.
Hey, young world.
You know what? We like to party, to party. Yo, peep this.
Hey, Mr. Big
Hey,
Shot.
don't you look fly?
You don't have another
Oh
hope.
my, you've been fighting again and you forgot why. Hey kid, walk straight, master your high.
Why?
Because you make your family cry. And all jokes aside, are you in good health?
Hey, little boy.
Now have you really checked yourself? You're a disgust, you know someone that I can trust you.
Steal Mars welfare.
And you'd run and buy some dust and
Plus, I must say,
big shot, you're not. Your friends are talking and I'm hearing that your girls are what? You didn't know? Go steal and rob.
and while you're at
Go
it,
get a suit for a job. You see you're acting like this urge is demanding.
come on, wake up.
Have some understanding. Society's a weak excuse for a man.
It's time for the
Now it's time to
righteous.
take the stand. Believe it or not, the Lord still shines on you. He
Guide you
and he watched you as you grew. Plus,
past the age
of a little child, that's true. But folks your age don't act like you do. So
be mature
and put the
fuck up.
boy to a halt.
And if you're over 18,
I wish you'd act like an adult.
don't live in a world
Of hate.
Pull yourself together
And get yourself straight.
Men don't see it.
Hey, most don't borrow. Your kids will smoke crack tomorrow. And kids, do your chores. Hey, be proud, that's yours. Something, cause righteous laws are overdue. And this is the message that the ruler Rick threw, and it's true. You know what? We like to party. Yeah, Slick Rick, the ruler, on the Keep It Moving show, too. Right here on elifemedia.net. We are the ultimate media outlet, broadcasting live, radio, and video, so you can see your girl. That was kind of ratchet, wasn't it? I've been practicing on my ratchet lately.
What's that mean?
I don't dance now. I make money moves.
Oh yeah, okay.
Anyway, shout out to little Cardi B. Cardi B. That's her name, Cardi B. She's an up and coming female hip hop,
yeah.
and so I wanted to shout her out as
Cardi
well as
B.
all the other up and coming hip hoppers. Got to keep this alive, and you got to keep it clean, keep it tight, keep
That's
it
right.
tight, and you keep it right. Keep it right, and you keeping it might. Keeping it might, and you keeping it light. Keeping it light, and you keeping it
Yeah.
on a plight tonight.
Oh.
All right.
Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live, man. I've gotten so many hits this morning. I appreciate you guys. Everybody, I got a lot of new viewers. I got a lot of new viewers on.
I know.
Yeah, that's
Ask
pretty
me
cool. Why?
Cause you rolling.
Yeah. Rolling with rolling. Rolling
That's a
with
new show right
rolling.
there.
All you gotta do is hang on to the rope.
You know what?
Don't
I
let
think
go of the rope.
I'm not letting go. Do
That's
we still
right.
have somebody online, or is
I
they
believe
still
so.
waiting?
I believe so.
Let's check. I think we got a caller in. Finally,
Don't let go of
finally,
the rope.
finally, I got a caller in.
Hello, caller. You on the air?
What's up? This Ula Tony.
Hey, what's up, Ola?
No doubt. Hey, I had to call in because I'm telling you, that Sister Kim, boy, she is doing it this morning. She is tight. She is right. She is out of sight. She's grooving. She got her whole football gear on. Hey, this Keep Moving show is pumping up in this joint.
Thank you so much. Where you calling from?
Oh, I'm calling from right here in Prince George's County. I'm a local fan.
Yeah, that's what's up. Prince George's County in the house.
No doubt about it. Y'all doing the thing. I just wanted to tell you, keep on keeping it moving, Kim, because you are doing it right. You're looking tight, and everything's going to be all right as long as you on the air, girl.
Ow, thank you. I I appreciate you.
No
Have a
doubt
great
about
day.
It's party
All
time.
right,
Ooh, it's party time.
It's the
Ooh,
Keep It
la, la,
Moving
la.
Show, y'all. Right here. The Keep It Moving Show on air every Monday.
That's right.
Right here on Facebook Live, on Instagram Live, on elifemedia.net. You can see the archive shows on YouTube.com. Pretty soon, I am going to have an intro. Y'all going to be floored when you see this. I'm telling you, you're going to be floored when you see this. But I'm finally going to have an interview. Like, I'm just like not going to just pop up on your screen anymore, dancing and laughing and stuff. You know, so look out for that. Some big things are happening. Now, guess what, guys? I finally got my marijuana company to commit to being on the show. And Monday!
Oh, shucks.
Woo!
Are they
Monday!
They local, right?
Highs and Lows marijuana. I think Highs and Lows Munchies or something like that.
Sound good
Either
to
way,
me.
Highs and Lows. They coming on at the house, y'all. They gave me, now this happened when I did, I taped the podcast with Easy Street. He's a local personality here.
I
Matter
saw
of fact,
that. I saw
You
that.
saw
Yeah,
it?
We'll get him on the show.
Yeah, he got some time. You know.
yeah, he got time, but
Yeah.
what you saw it?
You got time.
I know Easy, and
Yeah.
he make time to do some good work. So.
But he's got to get his massage first. See, his time is regulated. He gets massages and
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, he only gets massages from me, and then we get some radio stuff going on. It's all good. Easy's
You
been
know
my
he a
cli-
celebrity, right?
Yeah,
you know.
Easy's been my client for like 15 years. So
Wow,
yeah.
I didn't know. You know some of the same people. That's all
Yeah,
right.
so Easy, I was on his podcast, and we were on the podcast. The podcast he did before me and DJ Adam, shout out to DJ Adam, was marijuana and legalization of marijuana in the country, not only Washington, D.C., where it's decriminalized, but it's actually getting ready to be decriminalized in the state of Maryland as well, which I live.
Yes,
I don't know if
indeed.
that stopped me from doing anything that I do.
You've been a criminal all this
anyway.
time.
I'm a criminal.
You're a criminal.
Criminal minded.
Minded.
You've been blinded. Looking for a style like mine.
mine.
You can't find it.
Well, you will now.
Oh, yeah. I just bust myself out. You know what? That's happening lately. People saying stuff on air and the police coming and
come right to
arresting them
you.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, don't even try it. Don't even try it. I know, police. Don't even try it. But anyway, so I met them at the taping of Easy's podcast, and they're a company called Highs and Lows, and they specialize in munchies, and they just had an infused brunch last week.
Oh wow.
I was so mad that I missed it, but I'll be rubbing butts. Sometimes rubbing butts get in the way
you gotta pay those
of
bills.
eating lunch.
Yeah.
so what happened? What, Roland?
You can't say that to some new members of the audience might not know what you're talking about.
Hey,
I'm just trying to juxtapose. Sometimes rubbing butts gets in the way of eating lunch.
And by itself,
Yeah.
it sounds like a weird statement, but it makes sense.
It does make sense.
It makes sense.
I just like the way she said it.
Hey, Renee. Yeah, well, I will tell you that Highs and Lows, the marijuana place, they gave me a big old bag
Uh-oh.
of infused
It's time to
tequila
share.
lemonade.
It's time to
Well,
share.
most of it is gone. And then they gave me some marijuana-infused a pixie stick.
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
They make those now?
Oh,
So
man.
they just gonna get you addicted on two levels.
So
huh?
look.
Sugar high and the
They are coming on the Keep It Moving show too
Yes.
Monday. So I am so looking forward to that.
Let's
We're going to
support that.
have nice supply of edibles. So you guys can watch me and Sean
You
and
right.
Roland partake in some munchies. It's going to be so dope. I can't wait.
I got pissed in the bottle in a couple of weeks.
Oh, damn it.
I don't want to pop it.
Oh, damn it.
I ain't missing out.
Well,
I'm
no.
just gonna watch out, giggle my ass.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can watch us because I'm
I
gonna be sipping on some of that infused tequila
Do you remember
lemonade.
the episode of Little Rascals when they had hemp pie? You remember that?
No.
You remember Little Rascals?
I know Little Rascals.
When they put the weed, ask anybody on your,
They ain't had no
Facebook.
episode.
All right, Facebook Live.
When they
Remember.
when they ate weed and got toasted, man.
In 1956, they gonna
Dude,
have that?
they got blitzed.
I got to see that.
Spanky and our game got tore up.
Now,
Well, you know, in the NFL, they are looking forward. They're looking for ways to try to decriminalize it in the NFL as well, because
Yeah.
they recognize that some of the properties of the THC or the cannabis is beneficial for people with the
Chronic pain.
concussion stuff that's
Stuff
going
like
on.
that?
Yeah. Yeah, Roland. So so when they come here Monday, you can eat some weed and say it's for that brain disease y'all got.
Kim, if you make me eat weed, I ain't gonna say no to you. But check it out, though. I meant to tell you, hot off the press, I'm part of a class action lawsuit.
Nice for the head injury thing. Nice.
Yeah, so now I get to act loopy and it'd be cool.
Yeah. And now you can have some marijuana. It's the Keep It Moving show,
Yo,
y'all.
actually, I'm just thinking that I could do all kinds of unsundry things and blame it on my brain. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get yourself
I
arrested
can
now.
walk down-
Wait a minute.
Walk down the street butt naked on my head and everybody just be like, oh, he has CTE.
Yeah, CTE right in St. E's.
Right.
On MLK
Hey, right.
in DC Southeast.
The bigger the headache, the bigger the pill, the bigger the check.
Yeah, well, and the bigger the problem, because then you got to come down and let me teach you stress management.
I don't see why that's a problem.
In a group of everybody
and they
with the
gonna pay
same
you.
thing.
And they gonna pay you. See, if I win a lawsuit, part of my
You know
of my
what?
therapy with the lawsuit is you get named as my therapist.
And your payee. I'm going to be your payee as well.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever that means.
Yeah,
My
that means
payee.
that means when your money comes in, I'm the one that distributed out for you.
Okay, you gotta put a
take-
ring, but you gotta put a ring on it first, baby. You gotta put a ring.
Damn it!
It's the reverse of Beyonce. You gotta put a ring on it. All right, size 13. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I do have big fingers.
Yeah. Oh.
They got big
Hey,
hands.
that's
big
what I
feet.
say. If you got big fingers, you know what else it is.
You got big hands. You got big hands.
It's the Keep It Moving show, y'all, right here on elifemedia.net. And for those of you around the world that aren't familiar with a lot of practices in these United States of America, it is Labor Day here, which marks the official ending of summer, which means nothing to me because I'm going to wear white whenever I want to wear white. And the only thing that'll be different from me is I'll just change the fabric of my clothing. They may not be so light and breezy because it's getting ready to be nippy in DCZ.
It's gonna be a bad winter this year, huh?
I don't see what the problem is.
Hey, I'm not wearing light fabric in the wintertime. It does stuff to women
That's what
up
I'm saying.
top.
I don't see
Yeah, look. Pasties don't even really work for me. I got to put on 3 pasties.
Oh,
So-
you gotta wear a cup.
So check this out. Your dude Kim Jong-un, your dude Kim in North Korea just set off a hydrogen missile the other day. And apparently it was so big that people could feel it from miles around. And Trump said, hey, you better stop. I said, you better stop. And then, so now Nikki Haley, the ex person from South Carolina, she's on there like, hey, I'm telling you, this dude right here is sometimes a little loon. You know, we could put him on a teleprompter and he'll be in line as long as he's on a teleprompter. But when you start talking about Russia or take the teleprompter away, dude is going to go off. So I think I'd rather stick with teleprompter Trump for 200. Teleprompter Trump, please, because to be honest,
It's coming. You know it's coming.
yeah, I'm not sure what exactly is going to happen, but I think somebody has to do something now because I don't really want to be the ones that have to figure out what happens after a nuclear bomb goes 2,000 miles away and we just happen to be 4,000 miles and then the air makes it flow over and we breathing it in and all kinds of nonsense. So hopefully they find a way to impeach Trump and Pence at the same time, as well as.
No, that's not happening.
Well, you know, I think they're looking to grab Pence in on this Russia probe. And that way, if he gets linked up in that along with Trump and the other cronies, he won't be eligible.
I don't, because he has the powers to pardon and all
But
that.
check this out. This is what happened over the weekend.
What was that?
Attorney General Mueller, who's heading up the Russia case, has also gone into the state of New York to look at Trump's business practices.
Oh, okay.
The business practices contain banks out of Russia because no banks in the United States would give to Trump because Trump is a deadbeat creditor. He doesn't pay his bills. Right. So
I thought
he's
he
a
did.
deadbeat.
He said he had nothing to do with the Russians.
No. We're piecing it together day by day.
He had some bankruptcies in there, didn't he?
He has many bankruptcies. Trump is a deadbeat creditor, and the United States, right? He's a fake brand. And the United States won't lend him any money, but they need him to sell what he has, and so that's why they use him as like a face, just like the president. He's just a face for the company, right? So what happens is
his name out or something.
So what happens now? The country of Russia. They are the ones who gave Trump all of this money.
That sounds like there's some conflicts of interest in there.
Exactly. That's what we're going at.
Yeah.
And so because the businesses has been getting money from Russia, this is now the conflict of interest, of course, because Russia's doing business with everybody in his cabinet.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing is they're also looking at state charges against Trump, which will put everybody in the administration
Now,
in jail.
let's say they
as well.
find some dirt, and we know he's a little dirty. Let's say they find some dirt. What do you think could happen?
Trump
because of it?
cannot pardon anybody if it's state. Now, if it's federal, Trump can pardon you. That's why Attorney General Mueller brought in the New York State Attorney General as well, so that they both can go at him.
Little
so
inside
that if
baseball.
Right,
Okay.
so they can make sure that either way, Trump and his cronies are going down.
Yeah, but he left a long list of people that don't like him. You know,
Yes, he did. Yes, he
important,
did.
powerful people.
Yes, he did.
You know.
Thank you, guys. Hey. So Trump, he's getting ready to get into it, and actually, what we need somebody to do is try to intervene, so this Kim Jong-un doesn't blow well, he's not going to blow us up. The closest to us he'll get is California.
Guam or something?
No.
Oh,
he can hit Alaska and he can hit California.
Well,
so he can do
that's
that.
terrible.
Yeah, and so also they're looking at, before he does anything over here, they're looking at him to get Seoul, South Korea, or maybe Guam. And either way, he's going to do some damage before they get him.
Right.
So-
Massive loss of lives.
Yes.
Now, why is he doing it? Is there a problem?
Yeah, he didn't get his fire truck for Christmas.
I think there's
That's
sanctions.
what I'm saying. There's really no conflict. Nobody's messing with
Nobody's
nobody.
messing with him. Right.
Okay.
He didn't
Well,
get his
here's
fire
the philosophy that they keep telling us, that they don't want him to get these nuclear weapons and nuclear bombs. You know, Kim Jong Il. So.
Well, he's already had them. He's had them he's had them since Clinton.
Oh, so-
his uncle, his father and his uncle. But you know, he
this is the
sent
thing.
his uncle to be killed. He put the
yeah.
uncle in with the dogs, and the dogs ate his uncle up. Yeah, that's how he killed his uncle.
Well, you know, there's probably some behind-the-scenes squabbling and family
Probably.
going on. But, you know, nobody's explained to
My
me.
uncle, I'm getting my ass whipped.
Well, if you was...
Still at 50 years old.
Right.
Ass whipping.
If you was in line to be the dictator of a whole country, though, there might be some things to protect. Yeah. So why are other countries allowed to have nuclear bombs, but it's not okay for North Korea?
It's not okay because the United States
Says
and the NATO says it's not okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but if the state says it's okay, then it's okay.
Then it's okay.
Yeah.
So Russia and China and whoever else got their hands on nuclear weapons can
Well,
have
no,
them.
we said it's not okay, but they have it anyway.
They have it anyway.
Just like Iran.
You're really right.
Yeah.
They trying to stop them too.
Yeah.
You know.
Little do we know. I mean, the United States is the youngest country on the planet.
world.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's the youngest country. So it's basically, we're like the bratty little sister
We have,
saying, "I want this. You give it to me. You can't have this. I said."
We come from a long history of imperialists.
Damn, I hate them kind of girls.
We come from a long history of imperialists, starting with the European roots. So
You know, I think if the roots weren't European, if it were more of an African type of system,
yeah.
I think that we would be better
a little
off.
bit better off.
Yeah.
I think so
I don't
too.
want to
Yeah,
say.
we'd be back in slavery one day.
Well, if you think
Somebody
that,
else
if you
will come
look at
along
what
and-
kind of Africans, with of course there's division in every
Every culture,
culture.
yeah.
There's division in every culture. So the culture that sold us off, they are the ones that put us in this position. See, we're the ones that came over here and built everything, which
Yeah.
meant we were the tribe that built everything over there.
back home too.
Yeah, see, we are the chosen one.
Yeah,
Not
so-
Eddie Murphy's church, Golden Child, the chosen one. It's Keep It Moving Show. I think we got a phone call. Hey, it's Keep It Moving Show. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Who are we speaking with?
This is Dujane Bland with the Redskins Wire, USA Today Sports Media Group.
It's wow. Now I feel honored. How you doing today? Good morning to you. Good afternoon.
Doing great. Good afternoon. It's almost football season.
Almost.
For NFL.
If you could see me now, I have on my Celebration Cowboys uniform.
Hey, I'm not really for the Cowboys.
I
but
heard you say
at the same
skid.
token, you have every right to do that.
Yeah, I heard
They-
you
they
say
finally have
something
a really
about the
good team,
Washington
and,
Skids.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I heard you say something about the Washington Skids earlier. Would that be your team?
That's the team that I cover.
Oh.
Yeah, so we spend a lot of time covering that. I do that for the Redskins Wire, and then I take a look at the NFL for SportsJourney.com as well.
Can I ask you a question about the Skids before we move on?
Absolutely.
Now, I know that a lot of people in this country has a problem with Washington's team being named. I call them the Skids, like skid marks, but it's really really skin. So a lot of people in this city or around the country actually has a problem with the Skins being named that. How is that going? Did Daniel Snyder just win out where he doesn't have to change it?
I think he pretty much won out. And it's one of those things where, in the society that we live in, sometimes I think society is a little bit over the political correct thing. And there are plenty of Native Americans that are okay with it.
Yeah.
I have my feelings on it, and, I wouldn't have had a problem with the name being changed, but, they've managed to fight that in court, and they're going to be the Washington Redskins. So
For the duration, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if
for the
anybody
duration
doesn't
of
like
this time.
it, they could change the N in skins to a D for skids, and it'll be all good. I mean, hey, that's what I say. I mean, they don't have to change the logo or anything.
See, Dujane, some people just die hard Dallas.
Oh, I know.
And it just so happens that this young lady's birthday is on the same day as mine. So I can't talk about her so bad.
Right.
But just in terms of the NFL, man, one great thing about you is you called it Ezekiel Elliott last year. I didn't believe you. You called it. Kudos to you. You said he was going to be like that, and he was like that.
Yes, indeed.
So who are you looking at this year to have breakout surprises, rookie sensations? Who you feeling out there?
In the NFC East as a whole, when you start with the team that I cover, I think the Redskins will be better. I think fans need to taper their expectations on the offense. I've said this many times before. Even with the Cowboys, when they started making all those changes, sometimes all the new pieces on that offense, there's only a few that Kirk has really had opportunity to really get cohesive with. You look at Josh Doxson, not on the field very much. Terrell Pryor, they really didn't have a lot, going towards as far as throwing the ball towards him in the preseason. Now, they've done a lot of work in the offseason, during the OTAs, during mini camps, during training camp, but it's different. Everybody knows it's different when the bullets are real and the bullets are flying. So I think the defense is going to have to carry this team early. and then offensively they'll get back to what they've been and what they were doing last year. My surprise though is I really think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be a pretty good team. They have a young defense. I do have a question about their secondary, but it's like I said with the Cowboys and last year. If they front seven can get a lot of pressure, can force the ball out a little bit quicker, where the receivers aren't, or the corners having to cover more than 7 seconds, they can have some really good success. And I like Carson Wentz and what he did last year. He's got some more weapons now. They have a little bit more versatile backfield. So I expect them to be the surprise of the NFC East. I actually think, as far as the Cowboys go, I think they have to keep that same formula of what they did last year. They're going to have to taper and keep that defense off the field as much as possible. I really think they lost a lot of key pieces, although they weren't like, significant names that are going to be game changers for anybody else's team.
Right.
But with that being said, with the way they were used, the way Rob Marinelli used those guys, it's going to be tough because they still don't have the necessary depth like these other teams to keep everybody fresh. So it's going to depend on the run game like they did, keeping Dak clean, and if they can do that, they definitely can be right up there with being able to win the division. I actually like the Cleveland Browns as well, and I know that you say Cleveland, and with all the things that have transpired with them in the last couple of years, you're like, I don't know about that. But you look at Kaiser; they had to start him, in my opinion. I really don't have a problem with either quarterback that they go with. They have the talent on the outside. That team fought hard last year, and the record didn't show it last year, but that team fought hard, and I'm a big Hugh Jackson fan. I think defensively, when you look, I had an opportunity to see their coaching staff here as they did the Senior Bowl, and we know we had Greg Williams here in D.C., and that guy is going to have that team playing very well on defense, and they have the pieces to do so. So now it's just a matter of, being able to complete some passes, not turn the football over on offense, and they can have a better season. So I actually like them as well. Tennessee Titans is another team that you would like to watch. They had the running game and the offensive pieces last year. Defense didn't hold up too well, but I expect them to improve. It's going to depend on Mariota and how well he plays, but I expect him to play very well. Again, I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to watch a few of their preseason games, but they use that his wheels very effectively. It's not a lot of running, but he's capable. They'll throw a play or two in there to throw you off, and I think they'll give some guys some trouble this year.
Dujanay, I want to throw this out to Kim because we talked about her affinity for the Dallas Cowboys, and understand I do have a lot of respect for it. I joke and jive about it, but let's call a spade a spade. They have the ability to put a very competitive team on the field. And they've shown up, and they've had some close runs even under Romo. But Kim, I always wondered who are like your second and third favored NFL teams.
I don't have a second. Well, that's not true. I like the Ravens, and I like the Ravens because I like the Ravens. They just seem, and this is going to sound crazy, but they seem like a black team to me. With Ray Lewis and all the, they just seem like a black team to me. So I liked.
It seemed like a Soul Brother team.
Yeah. So that, but I wanted to ask him a question before we moved on. A couple questions. You mentioned Cleveland. You like Cleveland.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure how up you are on maybe the rumor mill. I don't know. I don't think this is really a rumor. But, of course, several of the Cleveland Brown players took a knee during one of the preseason games in honor of Kaepernick. And because of that, also a white boy, a white tight end did that with him as well. I don't mean to call him white boy. I just didn't know his name, and I know he's a white player. But he took a knee with him as well. And because of that, the Cleveland Police Department said they will not hold the flag for the Cleveland Browns games. Do you know what's going on with that now? Have they decided they're going to hold it now? Or do we need to send some of our brothers up there and we can hold the flag if,
I haven't heard much about that. I did read about that. I haven't heard much more about that, but I think it's always I always call it the diversion or trying to create another distraction to get away from what the real issues are.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that everybody, as far as Cleveland, there have been other teams as well in Seattle, other guys as well that have done this. And you really need to focus on what the issue is and stop trying to create all these counter diversions to really not handle what the situation really is.
Absolutely.
And I try to stay out of that kind of stuff anyway,
Uh-huh.
because at the end of the day, my job is to cover football. I totally understand what they're trying to do, and I just think, really, honestly, if everyone sat back and kind of wiped their glasses clean, and really addressed the issue, then these guys wouldn't have to do that. They always have to make it a different issue than what the real issue is. So,
yeah.
as more people do it, and as more people continue to take that stance, then maybe at some point the real issue will be addressed.
I agree. And before we leave that subject, I'll let you go with that subject. But Aaron Rodgers has come out and said that he understands why Kaepernick and other black men are standing up for this cause, and he agrees with that as well. Although he would still stand for the flag, he agrees with their protesting. So I agree with you. Once people start standing up for the real issue and stop with the diversions, things should be taken care of.
Yep.
So let me ask you one more question before I let you go. I can't stand those New England Patriots. Nothing new, nothing from Boston. How do you think New England looks so far? Because we always say, I don't think New England's going to do anything because they don't have the big name people, with the exception of Brady and Gronk and Belichick. Right. Well, how do you think they're going to fare out this season?
I think the Patriots are always going to be the Patriots. The real question is, though, you saw Amendola went down. And I don't know if you are familiar with the Madden cover curse.
Yes.
But no one escapes that curse.
Yeah, nobody has. Yeah.
So will it be Tom Brady who gets hurt, or will it be just his pieces around him that get hurt? It's going to be a thing that we are going to have to wait and see. But they're always going to be in the mix. Their defense is quality. They have some players over there. Also, when you look at, you got Gronk. Now, his health is a question, but they did go out and get Brandon Cooks, and they have some. They always keep an arsenal of wide receivers, and they're going to have a pretty solid running game. That's usually a 2 or 3-headed monster there. You never can count those guys out. And then in that AFC division, you look at, they have Miami, Buffalo there. Those teams really haven't stepped up to the plate. And Miami actually might be on the verge of something. Are they good enough to beat the Patriots? It's going to have to be a wait and see. But if you're going to ask me that now, the Patriots are the cream of the crop of that division, and they're the cream of the crop of the AFC until someone else proves otherwise.
Okay, so you don't think Pittsburgh or Baltimore has any chance, since Buffalo always comes close to beating them? You don't think any of them have a chance on becoming the AFC's team of the year?
Absolutely not. And the reason why I say this is, you look at Marvin Lewis's track record in Cincinnati. Always a guy who can get you to the outside the doors of the promised land, but never can take you into the promised land.
I'm surprised he hasn't been fired.
He can get you on the date, but he don't make it upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Kim was just saying she's not surprised he doesn't get fired. There's some other dynamics about him, and I don't know exactly what they are and what it is about the leadership or the ownership at Cincinnati that endears itself to him. But in terms of coaches getting that close that often, usually they don't get to stay around that long. Something else you said, and I just want to dovetail real quick. The New England Patriots separate themselves from everybody, to me, for one distinct reason, is that they have this mantra. What is it? Do your job. And and I noticed something, Dujanay, Kim, Shahud, that whenever I look at pro football and I look at the highlights and I break it down, the fundamentals of most of the teams and many of the players is horrible. You know, they block one side of their body. The linebackers run around blocks. They create natural seams. You know, the safeties come in and they charge, you know, outside in, you know, instead of inside out, you know, flushing the guy to the contain. They take bad angles, you know, and I'm not talking about, you know, taking bad angle on somebody that's got breakneck speed. You know, it just fundamentally, most of those teams just look real bad. When I watch the New England Patriots, they're like Alabama. They're just not out of place. They don't they don't implode, and they limit what we call self-inflicted wounds.
Yes.
So they don't beat themselves. You have to beat them.
Right. And you know, we talk about that all the time, and we say that it's cliche, but I mean that really is the fundamental facts of football. If you cannot turn the ball over, shoot yourself in the foot with dumb penalties, and when you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, those things don't creep up and are the reasons why you lose games. I mean, you take a look at that Super Bowl. Atlanta should have more than stumped the mud hole and walked it dry. And really, any other team with that type of deficit, you really start to lose confidence. You start to press a little bit. They never did that. They never wavered, and they just hung in there and kept fighting. And that's really the difference. And I've said that not just about them, but that's what's going to be the important key in Washington. I think defensively, you look at a guy like Tom Sula, not a great head coach, but you look at the track record on the defensive lines that he's coached, tremendous defenses. They're guys that are there where they're supposed to be. They execute very well, and I think that's going to be the telling factor for them. And anybody who thinks you can go out here and just run up the score and try to run up the score, trying to score 30 points, 35 points, you don't have a defense that can stop somebody in key times, it really doesn't matter. And quite frankly, over the last couple of years, the Redskins have had 24, 25 points at least on an average to get there. But when your defense doesn't stop anybody, the good teams, you can't outscore those guys.
Well, you know, and last note on the
Skids.
Last note on the Redskins, I saw the same thing in the preseason that I see every year. Red zone jump off sides. You know, red zone illegal motion penalties. Turnover, sudden change. They're not where they're supposed to be. They're having personnel issues. Who's on the field, who's not. Got to call a timeout. And during the season, those things cost you 3 to 4 points. Now, Kim, I don't know if you know this, but statistically, I think the average NFL game is decided by 3 points or less. You know,
I don't think I actually knew that, but it doesn't surprise me.
You know, so when you have red zone infractions that take you out of field goal positioning.
That happens to the Cowboys all the time.
Right, and this is why these teams don't go any further.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, and I saw the Redskins doing the same thing with their first team in preseason. They were having these self-inflicted wounds, dropping passes, errors on their routes, miscommunication with the quarterback. But even those things are timing. But I still kept seeing those, you know, it's 3rd and 2, and then Trent Williams jumps off sides. I still keep seeing that.
Well, I think too with that it's a matter of discipline, and I also think that these guys, unlike the teams that have been there in the past, these guys care. They care about losing. They care about making mistakes. And at times, instead of just going out there and playing your game, you get wrapped up in a lot of things and you start pressing. Pressing does nothing but enhance mistakes.
Dujane.
Yes.
Now, I want you to watch something for me. They care until that first week NFL paycheck. That's what I've noticed. And just keep an eye on it.
Possibility.
Get back to Kim doing her show next week or the week after. when you're not getting paid yet, it's easier to care. When you start making $75,000 to $180,000 a week, all of a sudden what you care about begins to change, and you start to see teams like that, because a lot of guys come here to get paid.
That is true.
As you know. So let's see if they still care week 2, week 3, when Wednesday comes and they start cashing those checks. Now, Kim, I didn't know this was real until I actually had a chance to hang around an NFL guy during the season, and they would lose, and they would go out at night like they never even played a game. And I'm like, dude, how could you not be upset? They're like, dude, I got a $40,000 check today.
Yeah, I was
What
going to
am
say,
I
I knew
upset
that
about?
watching the basketball team. Hey, Dujanay,
Yes.
where can we find you? How can we see your work besides the Keep It
You
Moving
can follow
show?
me at NotBland21 on Twitter. If you don't do the Twitter, it is the same on Facebook as well. And you can find the work at RedskinsWire.usatoday.com for the Redskins stuff. And for other NFL news, you can follow me on SportsJourney.com, and that's where my work will be. So I appreciate all those who go and take a look at it. The Redskins Wire, we have a great team over there. That it's going to be a fun season. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey, Dujanay, could you possibly one day come in my show so we could talk all football?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can work that out.
Hey, I'll wear my Cowboys uniform and I'll bring you a Skid shirt to wear. I appreciate you so much, Dujanay.
No problem. Thank you.
It's the Keep It Moving show. We're going to go to a little music break. When we come back, I'm going to give you guys the meaning of Labor Day, and then we're going to keep it moving.
Cause I wouldn't give guys like you no rap. I was walking down the street in the afternoon. I gave you a smile, so you assumed that if you said hello, I would be flattered. But I kept walking and your ego was shattered. I'm Roxanne, the lady devastator. I make it feel hotter than it is in Grenada. The ROXANNE. Roxanne is who I be, and Kango Kid. You might be cute, but you ain't getting this cause you're much too soon. You wear that samurai sword on the side. I told all my friends and we all just died. I laughed so hard that my face turned blue. Why be a MC? You should learn Kung Fu. And by the way, if I'm such a crab, why all your girls look like scabs? First you call me a peach. The doctor wants to take me to the beach. I got a little rhyme for you each. I seen your girls, they both need at least such bow wow babies. I think they got rabies. You think you touching me, boy, you must be crazy. You got your nerve to wanna be my man. They call me the real
Roxanne, Roxanne, can't you understand? Roxanne, Roxanne, I wanna be your man.
Now, educated rapper, I'ma give you a fit. Cause when you tried to talk to me, you was full of shit. You see, the truth and the fact is that I don't need you. Your IQ is really 1.2. I don't like your rap cause your rap is dead. Educated rapper, no sense in your head. So when you met me, I paid you no mind. Dictionary breath, you're one of a kind. You said your name was Gary, didn't choose to call you Barry. Didn't care if your name was Mother Matter Harry. I choose to call you Sonny because you have a tummy. My father's not a furry, you're the one who walks so funny. Your nose is always runny, you look like Bugs Bunny. All your raps are old, ancient as a mummy. Your house is so slummy, your clothes are so bummy. But now with your hit record, all I want is your money. Educated rapper, you ain't nothing but a dummy. You try to be chummy or you play Jim Rummy. I bet making love to you must really be crummy. You say it's customary to give your commentary. I say it's crappy full of strawberries. Your rap is so weak and your face is so scary. You always find a rap like yours in any cemetery. So do you know you didn't even pass? All you received was a kick in the ass. That's what you get cause I had enough. And that right mix master ice cream puffs.
Roxanne, 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 Roxanne.
When I heard this record, I said, who's the producers? A group named Full Force? A bunch of losers there singing groove. So how should they know? Putting out records with UTFO. I'm what's happening, I know that's a fact. So UTFO, bust that. Since I'm the new girl around the block.
Yeah, since I'm the new girl around the block. Yeah, we gotta cut her. That was the real Roxanne.
The real Roxanne.
That was the real Roxanne. Shout out and rest. What?
You hip hop.
Shout out to and rest in peace to the educated rapper who lost his life a couple months ago. So and shout out to UTFO and my man Dr. Ice. That's a friend of mine. So shout out to Dr. Ice and shout out to Jalil because I know you watching. I know you watching today. I know you watching. It's the Keep It Moving show. It's the Keep It Moving show too on elifemedia.net. And before we leave out of here, because normally I'm out of here at 1 Eastern time, but I started late, so I'm gonna end on time. Anyway, the Labor Day. Let's see. This is the Buy Black the Block section. Since I don't have a Buy Black the Block section today, I'm just going to do Black history or American history. So back in 1865, where the slaves were so-called freed by Abraham Lincoln, which I cannot stand that bust of Abraham Lincoln that they have on U Street. I can't stand it. It's scary, and and I think they should take it down, because what is that, a reminder that he supposedly freed black people? Take that down. That's another protest I'm going to. Success Scholar! Back in 1865, when the slaves were freed, so-called, let me see. There was a strike on the, there was, in 1894, there was a strike by the American Railway Associations. That was a union, and the blacks were not allowed to participate. So the black porters on the trains were not allowed to participate. So back in 1865, Isaac Myers, he was born a free man in Baltimore. Big up to Baltimore. He was a ship caulker. Okay? And so a lot of them were basically whites, but what happened was in 1850, the white caulkers went on strike and they rioted in Baltimore. When they were upset because some of the black caulkers were getting paid more money than they were because they had collective bargaining agreements with the shipyard owners.
It was all legitimate.
Yes, and so the black people, they were able to make money and they made more money and stuff like that. But ultimately, the shipyard fired all the blacks, including Myers, and then they blah, blah, blah. So what the blacks did was they organized their own workers and they organized their own companies, and they put together, Shipron, Chesapeake Marine Railway, and Dry Deck Company in Baltimore, and they employed themselves, more than 300 people. And they leased the land for 20 years, and after 20 years, the land had to be given back. Once that happened, they put together a union. It was the first black organized union. It was called the National Black Labor Organization. And it was a union for the colored people.
In Baltimore. I didn't know Baltimore
all of this was in Baltimore.
Progressive.
Yes, all of this was in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Isaac was the president of that union. And then once he died, Frederick Douglass became the president of that union. And actually, they were only together for less than 5 years, and they themselves became divided on being Republicans or being with the party, the National Labor Party. And so, of course, some black people wanted to be Republicans, and therefore...
they were the Black Party at the time, the Republicans.
Yes, and so they then dismantled that organization. And what that did was that led to such and such and such and such and such and such, and then the ACLU came out of all of that right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just wanted to give that little bit of history out to everybody out there. I'm sure Haki, the Success Scholar, could let me know if everything that I was saying was absolutely correct. But I did get this information today. So I know my history. I'm very intrigued and impressed by our history. And for those of you that are not aware of Black history, which a lot of it is American history,
Yep.
I think you should go ahead and pick up a book. Don't open up, don't do Google, because sometimes Google is not your friend.
Well, we can
Pick up
tune
a
into
book.
your show too.
And listen to the Keep It Moving show.
That's right.
And Haki the Success Scholar, and you'll learn all of this stuff. So therefore, I will tell you. Oh, you know what? Before we leave, I want to say shout out to Lil Wayne, who was found unconscious in his hotel room yesterday in Chicago. He had multiple seizures. He has epilepsy. Yeah, he has epilepsy, and this isn't his first, nor his second, nor his third time being found unconscious. And maybe if he, kind of slows down on a lot of things that he's doing, or maybe call the KIM, I could give him a lot of tips that I give my students and my clients in my workshops and on my table. And he'd learn how to really get that epilepsy under control. And for those rest of you that want to learn, holla at your girl. It's the Keep It Moving show. Next week we have highs and lows, marijuana, munchies, and all of that stuff on the Keep It Moving show.
That's right.
I want to thank Shaw Blizzy. I want to thank
welcome.
Roland. And I want to thank y'all. It's Saturday, it's a Saturday, it's a Saturday, it's a Saturday, yay. Even though it's Monday, y'all.
Girl was boy on Thursday night. Boy was high, girl fly like kite. They hold hands until
Thank you, Andre.
Boy, then let's go hit his way. Boy rolls blunt rack to his boy. Erection brings bad boy joy. Boy thinks of that big fat back. Big black fat, the big black fat. Girl calls boy to stand him up on Saturday. Saturday is a Saturday, it's a Saturday, it's a Saturday. Saturday is a Saturday. Saturday is a Saturday.
Back once more with the wallop in the store. Smash about a rough shit and make it rock your hip. Revival of the roller boogie and a rhythm shit to make you think about the time we spoke fun instead of fight. Yo, slip your butt to the fix of this mix. Force that briefcase, it's time to let loose. Cause you work like heck to get the weekend check. So unfasten that sleeper on your neck. Connected like a rod from the wheel to the foot. Come on everybody, let the funky output.
5 days you work, 1 whole day to play. Come on everybody, wear your roller skates today. It's Saturday, 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 it's Saturday, Saturday, it's Saturday, Saturday, it's Saturday.
Now as you pump your fists, I reminisce to a bounce rock skate roll fest to impress. Hey pretty diamond, do you like the way I'm dressed? Cool, keep the faith and be my mate, cause all we need is feet. But promote the hustle cause it keeps me thin. No need to talk, Luke, you just walked in. Yes, man. So kick the wham on this. Oh, Mr. Sprinkler. Wet me for one, Mr. Sprinkler. I'm eating high five and a day's no split. With the yawn, I trip to the dawn. Out comes the bodies following the one idea. It's clear. Rattle to the roll. Hold back up the track, grab your roller skates, y'all. And let's zip on by. Zippity doo, now let's zip on by. Feet on the weed and we're feeling high. Sun is on thick and the cheese is rolling thick. Come on, it's no time to hide. Season is twist, spinning and winning. No hack and sack, let me in. Spill on the bottom of wave, but it's okay. It's a Saturday. Now let's all get baked like Anita.
Watch Mr. Long, don't look at the beater.
Feel on the farm, I'll feel on the.
Hey, watch that.
It's a Saturday.
Now is the time to act the fool tonight. Forget about your worries and you will be alright. It's Saturday, 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 it's Saturday, Saturday, it's Saturday, Saturday, it's Saturday,
up? Yeah, we was like that, you know? Yeah, and I just got laid back.
Yeah, I'ma just sit in here for a couple hours.
Man, don't sweat it, yo. We gonna catch some stuff, dude.
I don't know, I'm kinda tired.
Nah, we got a basket. We gonna fill this basket before we go, yo.
Alright, bro.
Because that other picture's that.
It took a second to register up in my brainium, my dome, my head, my skull, my cranium. My eyes have had enough, it was time to do some talking. I had to creep through the hound dogs that was stalking. The Slimmy caught me peeping. This means she wasn't sleeping on who I was. So she creeped in like a hawk. In a minute's time, we adjourned to the floor. Oh, I hit a high note because of the way that she was walking. We got into the groove. I didn't bust no hip-hop moves. I just kept it nice and smooth. Next thing you know, we got together where I thought we'd be forever. Didn't have an umbrella, now I'm soaking stormy weather. Weather, two birds of a feather, fly and fall to the beat together. Never simple and leave your love life live. There'll be no suicide attempts for this slim trim kid. Cause you know there's other fish in the sea, that is. In the sea, in the sea, that is. In the sea, there's other fish in the sea, that is. In the sea, there's other fish in the sea, that is. In the sea, there's other fish in the sea, that is. You know there's other fish in the sea. Try to clear up all the myths for an imaginary kiss with you again. Not even friends, though I wish that I could mend like a tailor in the olive oil's #1 sailor. I am what I am still, I falls like an anvil. She's heavy on the mind, sometimes it's more than I can handle. But men aren't supposed to tumble into the den. Be macho, but a honcho like Pancho will give in. Family oriented, but not oriental. A dame is supposed to claim you, even if you drive a pencil. A hero is a sandwich and a man which is a meal. A marriage is a paper, are they faking or for real? What's the deal, Jabbers? Will you go double it after your man and take a stand, or will you help him roll faster? The reason why I ask you is because I'm sick of this. Flick and drip, drip from a benefits. He doesn't even suit you, and he's surely not the size. I'm surprised that you slept on a heart that's worldwide. And when you open up your eyes, they were made. I really wish that you don't bruise a limb as a swimming other fish in the sea. In the sea, that is. In the sea. You know there's other fish in the sea, that is. In the sea. There's other fish in the sea, that is. In the sea. There's other fish in the sea, that is. Now if there ain't no mountain high enough, or ain't you climbing up, my hand has been extended ever since the day I lent it to you. I thought I knew you, but I didn't even know you, bro. You're stupid, cause you thought you captured Cupid and you found that love ain't true.